Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Meredith Lego, and I'm doing a series of videos on Ascension science. A lot of the content that I'm bringing forward has been channeled from different beings in different multidimensional beings, essentially. And a lot of the content, most of it comes from a being who is an ascended master. Basically meaning that this being has ascended the kind of incarnational pattern that we tend to or have gone through as many humans. Obviously, if you're new to this channel, I would highly encourage you to go back to the beginning because there's a lot of content just in terms of foundational knowledge that builds up over time. And a lot of it is actually founded on understanding quantum physics as well. So in this particular video, I'm going to share with you the results of some questions that I asked Ascended Master Hilarion about what the multiverses are. It doesn't necessarily have to do with Ascension per se, but obviously there's a lot of just general topics that I like to ask him and get his perspective on. So the question started with, what are multiverses? And the answer I got was, multiverses are divergent parallel realities that run simulations for learning. Each is founded on different base frequencies, geometries, and lesson challenges. So just to pause right there, this very much ties back to actually some of the first videos that I did in the 1.0 series, as well as different videos on preparing for incarnation. So essentially what he has suggested is that we essentially exist in almost like a holographic, not simulation, but a holographic construct, in the sense that our thoughts, our emotions, but essentially our thoughts, our consciousness has the ability to essentially kind of create the illusion of the matter world that we exist in. So our thoughts create our holographic reality. And in essence, your external reality very much is a reflection or a mirror of your internal reality. So if you would like to change what you're experiencing on the outside world, or how the world is coming at you, or that's your perception of it, if you're taking more of a victim kind of mentality, then you really have to focus in on thinking about what you're thinking about every day, how you're feeling every day, because you really do take total control of your situations and your circumstances and your environment, and it has everything to do based upon the frequency at which your energy, body, and hence your consciousness is vibrating. So what he's saying is that multiverses, again, are divergent parallel realities that run simulations for learning. Now, what he stated in the past is that the entire point of, being here, being incarnate as a consciousness fractal, having an experience, is to learn and to teach others. So, if you kind of think about this as school, if you will, it's a different way to look at life. Like, you're here to learn and you're here to teach. You have to imagine that there's other classrooms that we could be going to in order to learn and to teach that have completely different setups. And he's saying, yes, that exists. They just are grounded on sort of, I guess you could say, different complete mathematics. So different frequencies, different geometries, and different life lesson challenges. So if you kind of go to the statement about geometries, what he actually expressed in like the first few videos, like video 1.1 and 1.2 and 1.3, is that when you have an intention or a thought, you actually are emanating, even though you don't think about it, thoughts have mass, they have energy to them, and they essentially go out and they create a certain sound frequency as as they're sort of emanating out, from you, as consciousness is emanating out, you're creating a certain sound frequency. And based upon what I've shared in past videos, it's been widely, proven through cymatics, which is a field of study of how sound creates matter, is that essentially when your thought creates a sound, that sound is going to actually create a formation of matter. And it is best amplified by looking at cymatics, and you can go onto tons of YouTube videos in order to check that out if you haven't done so already. So the next question that I essentially asked is, okay, so how were the multiverses formed? And he said, similar to your current universe, as a manifestation from source with an infusion or explosion of energy. So like anything, like while we have the ability to essentially manifest with our thought, we are really one fractal, one piece of source energy. And so essentially all universe is a manifestation of source, and it's just the thought alone that creates it, or creates the manifestation of anything coming into existence in any dimension, in any density. Again, a dimension is sort of a gradient of consciousness, and a density would be a gradient of density of matter, if you will. The next question that I asked is, how can you transfer among multiverses? And I think I was asking this well before some of the recent movies have come out about multiverses, let's say, and popular movie culture. But I was asking about, I certainly have had the experience of going out of body and sort of experiencing being in other bodies, so to speak. So my consciousness is not only in my body, but I can experience being in another body simultaneously. So I don't know if that's one and the same, but I was curious about just transferring among multiverses. And he said, the most natural way is upon the death process. As with shifting of dimensions in your universe, so too can you shift multiverses through thought. So I think, again, what he's saying is that, when you go through a death process, again, consciousness is energy, and energy never dies. So, essentially, I can tell you, having remembered many other lives, that consciousness doesn't die. It's simply the corporeal unit that passes away, but your consciousness will continue on. So during that process, you have, I guess, that opportunity to kind of go into another multiverse, another parallel reality, or another density. And it entirely depends on what he's saying. It's depending upon your frequency, your vibration, and your intentions. You sort of manifest what world you're going to experience, based upon your frequency. And he's also saying, so too can you shift multiverses through thought. Now, I'm not sure, when I've had some experiences in the past during meditation where, let's say, I've, found myself in different times, literally in different times, having gone through sort of portals or tunnels. I don't know if they're, wormholes. I don't think they're wormholes, but having gone through portals through consciousness, you find yourself in a different time. Maybe it's another multiverse, who knows, but that's essentially what he's suggested. Now, when I was kind of curious preparing for this video, I kind of looked up, well, what is the definition that, let's say, something like, you'd find for Wikipedia or Merriam's dictionary or something like that. And they describe really multiverses as an infinite number of parallel realities or universes. So I guess that assumes that it's sort of, obviously with any point in time, in any now moment, in any 0 point time, you have the ability to make lots of different decisions. And I'm sure that can set up a lot of different probabilities of different potentialities that essentially can happen. And what I've explained in the past, in a few past videos, is that your consciousness is really what's maneuvering between sort of the different timelines. So, going forward, essentially, I could get up out of this chair right now, or I can keep on filming this video, but there's going to be a different sort of reality out there of all those potentialities. And it's my consciousness that is in terms of, what I'm thinking in the moment, that's creating where my consciousness is locking in and phasing in terms of what to experience and manifest in my reality. So that's essentially what's happening. But there's another version in which I get up and walk away, or throw papers up in the air or something like that. So that's essentially what I think those definitions imply. So hope this provided more information for you on your exploration of consciousness and how we make sense of the world that we live in. And with that, I will sign off and continue to see you in future videos. Thanks very much. Bye.